Australia Zoo! Home to over 1,200 animals and made famous by the legendary Steve Irwin, this is arguably the most famous zoo in the world. Established in 1970, the zoo now encompasses over 700 acres, with 110 of those on display to the public. Australia Zoo have conservation projects that are helping to protect species from tigers in Sumatra and cheetah in Africa to saltwater crocodiles and koalas in Australia. The ultimate mission of Australia Zoo is to save one, save the species.
So just with the back of your hand.
One of the standout features of Australia Zoo is how interactive it is. You can get up close to the animals, but in a way that isn't harmful to them at all. For example, here we stroke a koala. You'll notice we didn't hold the koala as this wouldn't be natural for it. It's facing away from us and we just stroked this white bit on his bottom, as this is mainly cartilage so he wouldn't even feel it. We were also able to feed the kangaroos, with special feed they sell at the crocosseum. The kangaroos will let you know if they want feeding or not. Most of them were sleeping when we visited later in the afternoon, but they also have a section where the kangaroos can go if they don't want to be disturbed. This section is their chill out zone, and the public are told by the use of signs around the area not to disturb the kangaroos that have gone to the area for a break.
So they can eat anywhere from. You're so dirty. So they can eat anywhere from. Hey, buddy. 10,000 to 15,000 termites a day.
Wow.
We can't substitute that in zoos. That's a lot of termites. So they get kind of like an insect and ant smoothie in a sense.
There are so many talks throughout the day that it's impossible to see them all. Each talk lasts about half an hour and gives a really great insight into the life of these animals. We passed this echidna at exactly the right time, when his keeper was waking him up for a feed. The keeper answered questions and told us about the life of this animal along with some really interesting facts. Of course, no visit to Australia Zoo would be complete without the famous crocosseum. This took over 11 months to build and gives visitors a chance to see crocodile behaviour in clear water. We were very fortunate to visit when Steve Irwin's wife and son, Robert and Terry, were there and spent 45 minutes amazed not only by the crocodiles but by birds and reptiles too. One thing that really stood out to us at Australia Zoo is how much space each animal had. There's 110 of the 700 acres on show to the public, and a great example is the African safari area. This walkthrough exhibit allows you to see the animals interacting as they would in the wild, with giraffes and rhinos together roaming the vast green plains. The Tiger Temple is another great example of space here. With 8,760 square metres, or over 94,000 square feet, of lush surroundings, the tigers also have pools to swim in and are given enrichment toys to help keep them entertained. One place that a lot of people miss on their trip to Australia Zoo is the Animal Hospital, which you can access through the car park on your way out. The hospital has treated over 136,000 animals. It's one of the largest and busiest purpose-built wildlife hospitals and plays a vital part in saving Australia's native species. There's a surgical theatre, X-ray room, intensive care units and pathology lab, along with a special group of wildlife vets and nurses to help care for the animals at no cost to the public. For just $2, you can have a sneak peek into the hospital viewing area, which not only shows the injured animals resting, but also the theatre areas. When we visited, the team were operating on a small bird. This truly is a special place and one you shouldn't miss when visiting the zoo. What do you think of Australia Zoo?
Brilliant.
Favourite part?
Obviously the croc feeding. What was your favourite part?
Either the croc show, which I didn't know would also have birds and snakes involved in, which was really cool, or the Echidna close-up encounter.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. Oh, and I liked feeding the kangaroos, stroking the koala.
Yeah.
It felt like a pretty interactive day. And
like,
it's huge.
Yeah. And it feels like quite a nice zoo. I know you got the word zoo, usually associated with not nice places, but this place is kind of in memoriam to Steve Irwin.
And also they do a lot of conservation work, so everywhere around there's plaques on how they're actually helping these animals in the wild. So like this morning at the Sumatran tiger talk, we learned that they're very close to going extinct, and the Javanese and the Balinese tigers have already got extinct in the last 50 to 75 years. With the Sumatran tigers, they help breed, so they've had 9 cubs here in the last 11 years. So it's just stuff like that I think is really good. And yeah.
Definitely worth the $70 entry
Oh,
fee.
it could be so much more expensive. Like we would have paid a lot more
Yeah,
for this.
would have paid over $100.
Yeah. So highly recommend. That's all we have to say.
I got one thing to say.
Crikey.
Crikey.
Crocs rule. We really enjoyed visiting Australia Zoo. It felt less like a zoo and more like a conservation effort, with projects to save species, a wildlife hospital on site, and constant reminders of the fantastic works of Steve Irwin and his family. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, please subscribe to see more of our world travels.